Hello. So, tonight I'm back on artwork. All the things I need to get done on Battle Space right now are tedious and boring, and I'm not going to make people watch me do that. Nor am I going to need to ask people to watch me do it on stream. So tonight I'm back on artwork. With that said, we're going to dive into some artwork. What type of artwork? Well, I need a spaceship, or rather a dropship, transport of some kind for aliens. So we're gonna do an alien spaceship dropship thing. The default cube in Blender. I'm not entirely sure what I want to make. I'm kind of mixed on it right now. So we're just gonna come in here, we're gonna do some exploration. And explore. And see what we can come up with. I've got a general kind of shape in my head. That I'm thinking of. Maybe. Keep that edge. We'll come up with something here. Come up with something. I'm not quite sure yet. And now, maybe that. Well, let's make some different shapes here and see what we can come up with. Pull this down and then pull this down. And in. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Come on. We're gonna merge these birds here. Basically just gonna play around with shapes until we get something. You kind of like this sort of tower idea. I'm just not sure how far I want to go with that just yet. Or if I really want to go with it at all. Hello. How art thou? All two of you, I guess. Welcome. I'm currently working on trying to design a basic shape for a spaceship. The idea being that I will use this spaceship to deploy bad guy NPCs into the environment for the player to fight. I have no idea how this is going to go yet. We're going to make some basic shapes and we're going to find out. Bridge our edge loops there. Bridge those there. Yay, to experience points. I always like gaining experience points. We're gonna cut I actually kind of like where this is going, so I'm gonna cut this one in half. And we're going to mirror it so I can do less work and see my mirrored results instantaneously. You know, I have no idea what the XP is for. I've never used it. I know experience points are always good in video games, that's for sure. I knocked my knee against the table. Yes, I am designing a new ship design. I'm not sure what direction I'm exactly going to go yet, so right now I'm just modeling some basic shapes to see what I get. See how it goes, and then move on from there. Thank you. Only just getting started, but thank you. Always appreciate a compliment. Try to do my best at these things. Usually start simple. Don't put that edge in there just yet. What I'm looking for here is silhouette value. Is it recognizable? Does it make sense? Is it something that people are gonna like? Is it something that people are gonna vibe with? Does it vibe with me? So, I'm looking at a few different aspects here and try and get a good idea of what exactly this thing is going to look like. And part of me is not really liking this shape so much, but I don't like that. I like this more than I like this. Just curious what this would look like. Interesting. Not sure how I feel about it. I feel kind of caught on this. What does this thing look like? It's too straight. It needs an angle on it. Kinda like that. This weird kind of shark fin detail just sort of sticking up here. But at the same time, I kind of like having this. Get back a little bit more. And inside a little bit more. Just get them out of my view. Drop ship, something to go and drop soldiers off. So I'm looking at how, and this is an alien ship, so it, in some respects it doesn't really matter what it looks like as long as it is distinct from everything else. I think what I want to do maybe a shallow fin there. Maybe it was just too high. Think. Yep. Nope. let's try just for testing this out. Let's do a couple different versions here. I'm going to go ahead and delete these. We're going to do a couple versions of this. What I'm going to do here, let's eliminate this bottom fin here. Get rid of it entirely. Typically, I will do like a multiple different variations of something and then let my community vote which ones they like the most. So if you're in the Discord community, you'll have the opportunity to vote. This entirely. what I do here instead, rather than doing like a large fin type bottom side, I'm going to instead extrude. We'll skew it just a tad. A little bit of a underhull, and then also going to do this, reverse that. Then do a shallot angle for this. Drag it back here again. And let's try. I'm gonna play with this wing shape a little bit here. That sounds like I need to update that link. That's my bad. Give me a moment here. Update that link on the website. I'm terrible about updating those links on the website. I will admit that now. It's like one of the banes of my existence. It's that website. Not that I hate it, I do what I can to maintain it, but I work so much on game dev to make sure I'm making progress on game dev. I don't spend as much time on other things as I should. At last, merge at last. delete that. I'm going to bring back this one over here. We're going to make some changes. We're going to basically start this one, essentially. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. A lot of work just making the game, and then of course all the social media profiles that have to be updated anytime you do something. Oh, come on. I don't like this. I don't like the way that looks. Spin that up. We're also going to just delete this entirely. Thank you. Roadmap has been, especially the timeline, been a pretty grueling process. Made a whole video sort of laying it out. About 5 years, or about almost 5 years into the actual development effort. Started with a smaller game, much smaller game called Frontiers Reach, which I typically call Frontiers Reach 1. It's really just called Frontiers Reach, but I call it Frontiers Reach 1. Because I knew when I started that I was going to make multiple games, even if I didn't make any money off of them. But I've been doing this for about, I've been a hobbyist for like 20 years now. So for me, like, game development is just like a thing that I do. And I do artwork as well. I do a lot of my own programming. Although I've learned to lean in on other people's work, like plugins and stuff, because there's some really great plugins out there that people have worked really hard to make, and they want other people to use them. So when I find a good plugin, I try to learn those things to the best of my ability and then implement them as effectively as possible. We're at what? This is number 6 here. Oop. Don't want to do that. Kind of like that. Kind of like these stubby engines a little bit. Engine pods. I'm very selective about where I use AI. I do use it in some cases, but I'm pretty selective about it. I've technically been using AI since 2018, back before a lot of people even knew what it was capable of. And I've been using it in a pretty selective capacity. Because there are things that I find it useful for, but there are other things where I'm like, okay, well, I've done enough work on something to know how to do it better than the AI does right now. Now, it may become a reality where the AI is just, it's so good at doing what it does that it doesn't make sense to really do some of those things on my own anymore. But until that day comes, I'll be working on some things myself and using AI in other places. just to give you an example, some of the music you will hear while I'm streaming is AI generated because I do not compose music, and it's expensive to hire someone to compose music. I do have some music that is composed, but generally speaking, I don't have the resources to just hire someone else to compose a bunch of music for me. Although that would be really nice if I did. Maybe when work picks back up again, I can look at doing something like that. I've got one gentleman who is interested in doing some audio design and ambient tracks for the tech demo I'm working on. I need to delete those center faces there. But I will have to wait until I can basically pay that guy for his work. What are we at right now? 1, 2, 3. How many objects do I have selected? Do I have an info bit here? Let me see here. It used to be you could just get information on what you had selected. They've changed everything. Goodness gracious. Well, it might help if I get out of layout and go to modeling. Nope. Maybe. I've got some composers in my Discord, but people need money, and I have very little money right now. So we're just going to duplicate this, and we're going to put it over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 8. I'm going to do 10 different variations, and then I'll queue up a vote. It's been a while since I've done one of these, though, so I'm not sure how many people are actually going to vote. We'll see, though. But once we get the basic shape down, and we understand the kind of silhouette value that we're going to have and what it's going to look like, then we can start making a move towards refining it and actually detailing it. Get some good work going here. Some people are okay with that, some people are not. It just kind of depends on the composer. And since I live in the US and things are just a little bit tough for some people right now, everybody's just kind of needing money. Which I know, like, probably doesn't sound very Like, it doesn't sound very urgent for people not living in the United States. And Americans are very picky about their lifestyle. Yeah, if I could find somebody who could think like that, that would be great. But I had difficulty working with people like that in the past. Tried doing revenue share in the past. That didn't go very well. Tried doing portfolio, letting people put all of their work in their portfolios. That didn't work so well. I think one of the biggest problems is like a lot of people just assume that because you're making a game that you're just going to make stupid amounts of money, and it just doesn't work that way. Been making games for quite some time, and I've never made a dime off of them. I make them because I love making them, and I enjoy the process of actually making a game. If I could find people who also enjoy the process of making games or creating art, that would be awesome. Fortunately, people like that are very difficult to find. And when you do find them, they're even harder to keep. A lot of people are wont to do their own thing, which is completely understandable. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9. Last one. I'm gonna delete this. We're gonna grab this one, bring it back over here. Duplicate it. Yeah. This was a lot of this was generated with UDO, UDIO. which is an AI that's available for anybody to use on the internet. Some of it is composed. This song specifically here and the one before. You. And these will likely change, so just gotta keep that in mind. Most of this is pretty much all about achieving silhouette value right now. Once we have a good silhouette, I'll start to refine some of the shaping and work out some of the details. Make a more curvy looking alien spaceship, something that has like a biomechanical look to it. Star Trek was, I grew up with the Star Trek movies myself. Didn't watch the show too much, but I watched the heck out of the movies. Movies were awesome. I still go back and watch them every once in a while. I think the original Star Trek, the motion picture, is still one of my favorites. The one where they encountered V'ger, this probe that's come back to Earth after so many years of being out in space. And it threatening to destroy the Earth if it can't talk to its creator. Not understanding that its creator died many, many generations ago. Art style or something that I started from scratch. I take a lot of inspiration from Cold War era aviation for my stuff. So we're talking like old MiG fighter jets, old US fighter jets, but that's mostly for the human stuff. For the alien stuff, I'm just kind of winging it. Kind of flying by the seat of my pants, if you will. Kind of making it up as I go. Still try to do the best I can. Oh, and Blender? I basically just fire up the software and start modeling. I've been doing this for about 8 years. So I'm closing in on 40 years of age, so I've been doing this for about 8 years now, getting closer to 10. So for me, like, modeling in Blender is there are some things I still need to learn about Blender, like I don't rig characters in Blender, and I've never done that. But when it comes to like just pure modeling like this, I've been doing this. Been doing this for a while. One moment. Alright, I'm back. think I want to maybe do this. Flatten this out just a tad here. But generally what I do is I like to start simple. Start with a very simple shape. Something that's gonna basically help me just get the silhouette down for the entire thing. And I've done this for other stuff too, lots of other stuff actually. Go vertex. Actually, make sure we delete these inside faces. It's gonna do that every time you extrude, like I just did. Let's go here. Merge these. And we're gonna pull these in. Oh, I actually want. There we go. I want this front face here. Get this off. I want this front face here flat, rectangular, because that could be like a loading ramp or something. But I also want to skew that just a tad. All right, let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So what I will do is I will prep these for voting. I'll get them basically laid out and do multiple views and number everything, and then we'll run the vote in the Discord. Now, because I've got time on the stream here, let's go Veer. The Veer are the alien bad guys that they're working with. Veer dropship. Save. But we're going to pull open the kitbash that I have for the Veer alien structures. And you can actually see this with all of the planned lighting that I have. You can actually see this inside of some of the videos I've been working on. We've got these sort of like vases or urns. We've got cargo boxes. We've got light fixtures. We've got pillars of various sizes. We've got a couple different room sizes. We've got a lot of different stuff in here. Staircases. Trim pillars. We've got walkways, like this is a giant walkway pit. You can see here. Here we go. This is actually what this thing looks like inside of the engine. That's this thing. This is inside of Unity. This is all Unity's high-definition render pipeline right in the video here. This is something I'm still kind of working on. I know the general aesthetic that I want to go with, but I don't have like an audio profile to really play with. Like I don't have a sound design planned out yet. This is where I would love to find a sound designer. I would love to find a sound designer to work with on this. Just wish I could afford them. I've been trying to get all the programming sorted out, because if I can get the programming sorted out, then I can go focus on the artwork the way that I want to. Because I'd love to be able to just sit around and do stuff like this artwork. This is what I've had planned for the main alien bad guys for a while now. And I even have some character concept art done up that I want to get together with a character artist to work on. But again, it costs money. So looks pretty drab and kind of boring, although, you know, if it's more interesting it looks in Blender, then hopefully the more interesting it looks in Unity once I get it there. Kind of funny because apparently I'm doing well enough in Unity that some people have mistaken my work in Unity for Unreal Engine. Glad you like it. Thanks for the compliments. I've worked pretty hard on this over the years. Some of these design elements go all the way back into when I first started back in 2015. I have like a stack of sketchbooks where I just like was sketching and sketching and sketching for like 5 years before I started doing any real work. I would open the editor and show off more, but absolutely, you're welcome. I would open the editor and show off more, but it would take a really long time. I have plans to apply for a Epic Mega Grant, and if I can get Epic to pay for basically an entire year of my life to learn at Unreal Engine, I will definitely make the switch. And I'm not just learning Unreal Engine. I'm also, like, I have a bunch of custom technology that I've built for Unity that would need to be ported over to Unreal. So, we'll have to see. If not, I'll just keep working in Unity. Seem to be doing okay inside of Unity for the time being. At least. Like a standard hallway here. So the idea is that there's these large chambers, and sometimes they're just like large pedestals. And I've got some rock formations that can go around areas, but these hallways here would connect the larger rooms. I'm looking forward to having the finished product as well. Had this thing in my head since 2015. I'm really looking forward to being able to play it as a full-fledged game. I will be so happy when that day comes. Unity is a strange cookie. On the one hand, it's a great engine. They keep making updates to it. They keep getting better at what they're doing with it. But at the same time, whoever's running the business over there is not doing their developers very many favors. Or at least that's the way it looks from the outside. I don't know what internally they're actually dealing with. I've never worked at Unity. I don't know too much about what the internal workings are. But I've used the engine since 2012, when I first made like a little crappy 2D game. And I just sort of kept working with it and kept working with it. And eventually I started getting jobs where I was working inside of Unity doing things for actual like software companies. And that paid the bills for many years. It's only been the past year that I've had trouble like really pinning down work. So yeah, let's look at the human stuff. Because I've got basically a giant... So we'll look at the capital ship first. Oh, nope, this is the wrong spaceship. That'd be nice. I'd love to be able to hire some more people on. Because I love making games, I love sharing games, I love sharing games with people who enjoy the things I make. If people don't like them, that's fine. Just, you know, like, if you're not interested, I'm not going to make you stay. But for people like, I've got one guy who I've been working with here and there. I shouldn't say working necessarily, but we've been going back and forth, and he's streamed Frontiers Reach 1 for like 80 hours and just recently beat the game, and he's geeking out about everything I've worked on, kind of, and really likes it. So yeah, that new CEO. But anyways, like you said. The files I'm using to make this artwork are large. As you can see, like there's like a bunch of 3D models over here. But we're gonna look at the carrier first. Still a lot of work to do on this thing. Go into 3D modeling here. Scale figure, just give you an idea of the size. These are supposed to be launch tubes down here. I need to finish those up. There is an interior that I'm working on. There's a bridge. Started work on the interior, but it'll be a while before it's ready. Play in 5K resolution? Jeez. But this carrier here is for Frontiers Reach Mercenaries. There are still some bugs in Frontiers Reach 1. So just heads up if you happen to play Frontiers Reach 1, there are still some bugs in there. I still get them, still working on it, still fixing things, so if you find something, please let me know, I will fix it. If something feels off, let me know, I will look at it, try to fix it. But yeah, this thing is pretty big. This is hands down one of my favorite ships that I've modeled so far. And this is one of the old fighters from Frontiers Reach 1 I was using to help scale things. This is actually in Frontiers Reach 1. You can go fly it now if you want. And we'll go look at some human structures. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Wait for it to load the texture. Big old satellite dish. Rockets. So the idea is that like these rockets were used by people to come out to the frontier, and when they got there, they started converting their rockets into homes. So I've got a couple of models where I've been working on making rocket homes where it's part rocket, part like concrete house. So I've got like concrete housing pieces here. It's supposed to have this like little 3D printed look to it. It looks like they layered concrete. I've got some interior pieces here, like sorts of different computer consoles, cabinetry, utility boxes, furniture. We've got beds now, cargo pallets, which, by the way, I actually need to fix this. Let's go to face. Oh, come on. I'm a huge fan of old school sci-fi, so I grew up with older parents. My parents are like, I'm only 40 or almost 40, but my parents are also like in their 60s, so going into their 70s. So I just grew up with older science fiction. So I grew up watching the old Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers TV shows or serials, I think is what they called them back in the day. And back then they didn't know what the future was going to look like, so they just took a rocket and made it land backwards the way it took off, because to them that's what made sense. And so I just kind of took the idea and ran with it. There are 2 videos on my channel covering 2 missions where you can see a lot of this stuff in the engine. Got wind turbine is what this is. When I feel like getting this re-UV mapped, this will be over here. This is like a high altitude radiator thing. I got to get it remapped to the new texture. But it's basically supposed to take heat from way down low, like on a lava planet, take it high up and let the heat dissipate into the upper atmosphere. Sorry about that. Needed to take a drink. Alright. So, yeah. This is what I've been working on. For the humans. I think, let's see here. Pull up another video. It'll be a short one. This is the long sight array. this is already in my tech demo, which is playable if you're a Patreon subscriber. I've got it gated to Patreon subscribers right now. It'll get opened up to everybody eventually. But I'm trying to basically keep it behind a paywall for the time being so that I can get people who are genuinely interested in helping to test it out. Because there's just a lot of things that need to be tested and a lot of feedback that needs to be taken before I can really start to think about opening this thing up to the general public. That's generator. Generator connects to all the lights on this facility, so if the generator goes down, all the lights shut off. And one more video. Thank you. Yeah, I've been working really hard to bring this thing into reality. I'm completely self-funded right now, more or less. I think I've got like 1 or 2 Patreon subscribers, but I haven't taken the money out because it's just like, it's only a few dollars. I don't really need it right now. So I'm fairly stable financially, but it requires me to basically do all of the work to make this thing. And so I do a lot of almost all of the 3D modeling. I do a lot of the rigging for like characters and creatures and stuff like that. And I get, and of course I do a lot of the programming too. So it's an ongoing process, though. I do what I can to just keep things moving forward. And sometimes people come in for a few days and check it out, and maybe they like it and they stay, and sometimes they don't and they leave. This is my elevator system. We do elevators of different heights. Landing pads, rocket landing pad. I've got some rockets that can take off. I have some rockets I will end up rigging with animation so it looks like you have rockets taking off and landing. These here are all a part of the destructibles system. So one of the things I'm working on is destructible infrastructure, and when you destroy the infrastructure, what that will do is that will start to affect a town in such a way that eventually the town will enter a destroyed state. And when that happens, you can go in and take over the town for it. So like there's multiple factions on the map and they'll be fighting each other, but you as a mercenary will get to basically pick a faction and fight for that. And I am planning on adding multiplayer eventually, so it'll be something that you and like 3 of your friends can go do. I've got some multiplayer code that I've been playing with every once in a great while. I haven't really focused on it too much just because there aren't enough people to like worry about multiplayer right now. So I've just been focusing on getting the core mechanics in, getting a bunch of the artwork done that I want to get done, and then basically trying to get people interested in it so that one day multiplayer will make sense. I've already got several factions. I've got Titan Line Securities faction, Orion Incorporated faction, a Basic Raider faction, and Vickers team, which is like a science team that's exploring the alien ruins, and then of course the Veer faction. So I've got 5 factions. I've got enough artwork to fill out 5 factions right now. What I have to do next is thanks. Yeah. What I have to do next for factions is basically get them fighting each other. And that's one of the reasons why I started the dropship design this evening, is because if I can get a dropship design working for the Veer, then I can make Veer dropships come and like drop soldiers off at like a town and they start attacking. But yeah, my concept behind all of this has been to make. Well, I made the first 2 games, Frontiers Reach and Frontiers Reach Battlespace, which is currently in Battlespace is currently in early access. But the idea was to like make those games and to build some of the technology I would need for Frontiers Reach Mercenaries, the big game. And then at the same time, I would also get a lot of the artwork sort of sorted out, the sort of designs that I wanted. And I would also have the opportunity to make some of that artwork too. So I'm basically using each project to build on top of using each project as an opportunity to build upon the larger universe. You know what? Let's it's gonna take like 30 minutes for this thing to open up. I don't want to make anybody wait that long. I'll just do another stream, because I got another stream on Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday I do streams on the stuff. This is the way. This is the way. Especially for a solo dev like myself. Basically what you have to do is just build it up over years. Build it up over the years. Because goodness knows I don't have the money to hire a bunch of people to do it for me, so I'm doing it myself. This is old school stuff over here. I might reuse some of this stuff, like I've got a crane system. I've got a little crane car here. Container. The idea behind this was that this thing here basically line up like this. I think, yeah. And it would go up and down, and then hold. Assembly would go side to side. But this is all old artwork. I would need to do something to bring up the quality, because it's just it's old stuff. But yeah, let's see, what else do I have here? Ooh, here we go. This is my ship generator. The actual generation part is inside of Unity, but this is all the 3D models that went into the generator. And we're loading another large texture, basically. Need to make something great, make it alone. Don't think I've ever heard that before. I don't think we have anything like that here in the US, at least. Looks like we're loaded up. Come on, texture. I guess it didn't load the texture the first time. Just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. Here we go. Alright, so we have engine pods and other types of engine pods and multiple different configurations of engines. We have, let's see here, gun turrets and little bits of greeble, basically little detailing bits and bobs to put on the hulls of ships. We have a couple different bridges here, or a few different bridges. And of course we have all of these different hulls. And this goes into my ship generator, which lets me do, like, basically randomly generate, or randomly create. More like a randomizer, I guess. Less of a generator, more of a randomizer. This is like a side docking port. Little satellite dish. Thruster blocks. So this is something else I wanted to sort of explore this in Frontiers Reach 1, but I never really got a chance just because I had to move on. I like making games, but there's a certain point where like I have to stop myself on a project, because if I don't, I'll just keep going and keep going. And I'll never get to the projects that I really want to work on. Let's see here. I should probably fix this because that doesn't look very good. That repeating texture right in there. Missile launcher block, basically a little door. Opens up, missile comes out. Now, this particular ship here, this variant, is a space open for a hangar bay interior, which if you play Battle Space, or even just go watch some videos about Battle Space, you will actually see that. And this is the actual interior. Interior mesh. I think this is one of the docking ports. Yeah. This one right here. And this one. I think these are like, remember correctly, these are supposed to be like docking ports for people to go through. And this is like a cargo docking. Little wings to put on various places, wherever it makes sense to put a wing. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. It's been an hour and a half. I'm trying to get to a point to where I can do longer streams, but I'm somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of social energy. So I do usually do about an hour and a half to 2 hours of streaming. If you catch me on a good night, especially like when I go back to do the detailing on the alien dropship, when I go back in to do that, chances are you'll catch me when I'm going to zone out and I'm just doing artwork and I'm not going to talk a lot, and I'll just be basically doing artwork for 4 or 5 hours. So an hour and a half to do all of this, or to show all this stuff off, and yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna go get the alien dropship designs laid out and get them ready for voting, and I'll see anybody who's here on the Discord. Especially you, Dead to Cry. Thanks for stopping by and chatting. I don't get that very often. Appreciate it a lot, really do. But yeah, I'll see you in the Discord.